uh, participants in the round one quiz. We joined by spectators, we joined by teachers today, parents. So your role today is super, super important in cheering our kids on. So welcome everyone to the ultimate AI quiz by Educational Initiatives. The whole idea of doing this was to draw AI literacy to inform our children about what it means to be AI literate, what it means to have computational thinking skills in today's world. And in this journey, we were joined by two giants, namely IIT Madras and the Amazon Future Engineer Project, who are knowledge partners with us. The idea behind doing this was that we realized the world is changing very quickly, and the idea of AI literacy is not something that is well understood or even well known, not just among children, but also among adults, as we can happily admit. So we realized, even from an awareness perspective, because educational initiatives has long cared about not just memorizing information. In fact, we call that rote memorization. We focus on concept clarity and concept understanding, which applies very much to the AI world today. So skills like knowing how to be media literate, knowing how to find out whether the information you're seeing online or on social media is true or not, how do you verify it? So these are becoming very, very important skills. So being AI literate doesn't just mean knowing the technical concepts around AI, which is a very small part of AI literacy, but a large part of it is also understanding how to solve problems with it, what are the ethics around it, what are the impacts of using it, what are the limitations, what it does right, what it doesn't do right. So it's like knowing a friend very well. They are good in their best times where you understand what they do well, but it's also necessary to understand what they don't do well, right? So it's just knowing somebody very personally what we're trying to do with AI as well. And that's why we decided to do this quiz. In this journey, we started with two tracks. As we will see, we'll meet all our participants today. So track one is called the Trailblazers, which was for grades 5, 6, and 7. We see our friends here. And track two was Visionaries, which is grades 8, 9, and 10. So both of these tracks competed within themselves. So we started with 766 participants. So another reason for all our friends to give themselves a pat on the back, because you've really come to the top with among a lot of participants across the country and some even beyond. We had participants from the UAE as well tuning in. So of which 427 appeared in the first round, of which we had 24 finalists, 12 from every track. So 12 Trailblazers, 12 Visionaries who will battle it out today. And finally, we'll have 6 winners, 3 in each track. And other than the crown of being the champions for 2026, these soldiers are also battling for our winner prizes. So the winner gets an Apple iPad on both tracks. The second prize is the smartwatch, and the third is the Polaroid camera, the Instax camera. And the agenda for today is briefly going to be this. The Trailblazers finale will happen from 11:10 to 12 noon. And then we'll see a small podcast by an Amazon expert, Ms. Parna, who'll talk to us about how they use AI in industry, what does Amazon look at, how it's used, and some tips and tricks for how we could use it and understand its limitations, and what are responsible ways of using AI today. Followed by the Visionaries finale, which will happen after 1 p.m. to 1:50, and then we'll wind up by 2 p.m. today. All right. So with that, let me introduce our quiz master for the day before I hand over the floor to her. So please welcome Ms. Anshuli Day, the quiz master for the Trailblazers track. So in her own words, she is a former teacher. She used to teach grade 2 and 3 English, and she's a total nerd for human behavior and language. Her favorite animal is the Pahari dog because floof max. She loves about AI. One thing she loves about AI is that anyone can build things through clear writing. And one thing that she doesn't like so much about AI is the environmental impact of it, which shows AI literacy again. So I hand over the stage to Miss Anshali. Please.
Thank you, Ashwini, and hello and welcome, Trailblazers, to round two of the quiz. Before we deep dive into the quiz, let's just quickly go over the game structure and a couple of rules so that we're all aligned. Can we have the screen of the matrix of the game so that all the participants can also see it? We'll just pull up the screen. Okay, everyone's joined in. Right. Okay. So as you can see on your screen, this is going to be the game structure for today. You are going to have 5 rounds in the entire quiz. It's going to start from 100 points in round one, going all the way till 500 points per question in round five. For each of these rounds, you'll have 6 categories of questions. You'll have identify the picture type questions, identify the term type questions, so on and so forth, all the way till what is the connect type questions. The difficulty will increase in the rounds from round one all the way till round five. And you are going to get around 10 seconds for each question before the buzzer gets activated. Now, I know all of us are going to be very excited to like click the buzzer as soon as it's activated, but remember there are 2 rules for negative marking for your questions as well. If you give the wrong answer, there's going to be a minus of the points that you're playing for. And if you pass your answer and you're not able to answer the question, that also leads to the minus of your points. So be judicious in pressing the buzzer when you think you're ready. Mm, I'm going to read out the question for you before we move into answering the question. Another very important house rule to remember, please only unmute yourself if I call out your name and give your answer as only one response. Do not give 2 responses in case I tell you your answer is incorrect. You're not going to get another chance. If your answer is incorrect, it is going to be passed to the next student who pressed the buzzer second. If that student is also not able to answer, we'll move it to the third student. If the third student is also not able to answer, we are going to reveal the answer to the question, and we are not going to give any points to any of the participants. So we only get 3 chances to answer the question correctly. So are we ready to go? Should we begin the game? You can just give me a thumbs up if you're ready to go. All right, let's go. Let's reveal the first question, which is and identify the picture item. Okay, so identify the AI company that is represented by this logo. The buzzer is going to be activated soon. All right. We already have people who can respond. All right. Aditya, would you like to unmute and give us the answer to this question?
The answer is Dolly.
Okay, Dali is incorrect. I am sorry. We can move to the next person. Aryan, would you like to answer this question?
My name is Arena,
Oh,
and
Arina.
answer to the question is OpenAI
Hold on. I'm Aryan.
Yeah, sorry. Aryan was the name that I took. Just be a little careful and just hear carefully for whose name is being called out.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Aryan, for stepping in. Yes, go ahead.
The answer is OpenAI.
OpenAI is correct, and the point goes to Aryan for round one. All right. Let's move to the next question. Now, this is an identify the term question. Can you identify this technology term by adding these 2 words, the images that you see on your screen? What term would it result in? All right. Right. Aryan has quickly pressed the buzzer. Please go ahead.
Blockchain.
Blockchain is the correct answer. Yes. Have you all heard of the term blockchain before? Just give me a thumbs up if you've heard this term. Do we all understand what blockchain means? Yeah, it's a complicated concept, but blockchain has actually been very transformational in security for financial services. Make sure you go ahead and take a look at what blockchain means after the quiz today so you can find out more about this concept. Very interesting concept. Yeah. All right, the point goes to Aryan. Let's move to the next question. This is a data detective question. I'll just read the question for you. This graph compares the percentage of the world's population aged 15 to 24 across different regions in 2023 and projects the changes expected by 2050. Here's your question. In how many regions is this age group projected to increase by 2050? And we'll just expand the view so that all the participants can also see the graph a little more clearly. We'll just take around 20 seconds to see the graph more closely. So as you can see on your screen, there is 2023 and 2050. What is your answer to the question about how many regions is this age group projected to increase by 2050? All right, let's go back to the screen. Archisha, would you like to go ahead? Please unmute.
Yeah. So I think it's two, Africa and Western Asia.
All right, and that is the correct answer. Because in this bar graph, as you can see, the left side is actually showing the correct percentage of youth in total population, while the right side is showing the predicted youth percentage for 2050. So Africa and West Asia is the correct answer. Great. All right. Next question is an odd one out question. Please identify the odd one out, and your hint is in versus out. What do you think is the odd one out in this question? Okay, Archisha, please go ahead.
Yeah, it's the headphone.
It's the headphone, okay. And what is your reason for headphones?
Headphone is it's an output giver. It gives you the sound, while the rest it takes input like your voice or whatever word you're giving or your image.
Yes, that is absolutely correct. So 100 points go to Archisha for giving the correct answer. It is an only output device. Yes. All right, let's move to origin stories now. Okay, so for origin stories, your question is, you need to identify the technology company that is being described here. Now, this company was started in a California garage by two friends, both named Steve. Macintosh is another hint that you're getting. Let's go into the buzzer. And Archisha, yes, go ahead. You've pressed the buzzer first again.
Yeah, it's Apple.
Apple, okay. That is the correct answer. And Apple was actually founded by Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak in a garage. And Macintosh is one of their very famous computers that they started out with. So yes, Apple is the correct answer. And the point goes to Archisha. Okay, let's move to what is the connect, the last question in this round. What do you see is the connect between these three logos, Safari, Firefox, and Microsoft Edge? Please be sure to click the buzzer as soon as it's activated. All right, Aditya, would you like to unmute and go ahead?
They are all browsing websites.
They are
Browsers.
all browsing websites. They are all web browsers. That's the correct answer. Safari, Firefox, and Microsoft Edge are all web browsers. Absolutely. All right, so this ends round one of 100 points. Now, these were kind of easy questions that we were dealing with. We are going to go into round two, where each question is now going to be of 200 points each. So things are going to get slightly tougher for us. Let's begin with identify the picture for round two. Okay, can you identify the language learning application that this logo is from? Your buzzer is going to be activated in some time. Identify the logo. All right, Aryan, would you like to unmute and go ahead?
It's Duolingo.
It is indeed Duolingo, that's correct. A very fun fact about Duolingo, by the way, the first language course, which was English, created by Duolingo, it was just created in 3 weeks, and it was only tested on the founders, friends, and family before the launch. So this is how quickly apps get built, and see how popular Duolingo is today. Yeah. Okay. Let's move to the second question, which is on identify the term. Can you identify this technology term by adding the two images that you can see on your screen? Okay, Aditya, would you like to unmute and go ahead?
Food review.
I'm afraid that is the incorrect answer. So we'll move to the next person. Izan, would you like to go ahead?
Network.
Network. Yes, that is the correct answer, because net plus what people are doing is work results in the word network. And that is a group of connected computers or devices that share information with each other. Okay, so the point goes to Izan. Moving to the third question in the round, data detective. Now, this graph shows the life expectancy data for the US states and selected countries. Your question is, which US state has the longest life expectancy? And we're just going to expand the graph a little so everyone can see it. Which US state has the longest life expectancy based on the graph that you see? Let's take about 10 seconds and then we'll come back to the buzzer page. All right, let's come back. Okay, let's quickly sort by the buzzer based on who pressed it first, and we'll give the participant the chance. Okay, Aditya, yes, please go ahead. Which country is your answer?
US state is Hawaii.
That is correct. Yes, Hawaii is the correct answer. Because as you can see, so the different colors are distinguishing between the US states and countries. And it is representing that Hawaii is at the topmost position on your y-axis, which is the average life expectancy. And so Hawaii is the correct answer. Great. So the point goes to Aditya. Let's move to the next question. Odd one out. Okay, identify the odd one out between all of these logos. They're sending an email, watching a reel, asking Alexa a question, playing an online multiplayer game, downloading an app, or taking a photo with the camera. And your hint is connectivity. Okay, I can see that people have already pressed the buzzer. Let's go ahead with Sojati. I'm so sorry. Could you just pronounce your name for me?
Ma'am, Sojat.
Sojatya. Okay, yes, go ahead.
Ma'am, I think the correct answer is asking Alexa a question.
Okay, and what is your reason for that?
Ma'am, because the rest of the things we have to do with our phones or with computers, ma'am, by asking Alexa a question, we don't have to do it with our phone or our computer.
Okay, I am afraid that's the incorrect answer based on the hint connectivity. So we are going to pass it to the next student. Aditya, would you like to go ahead?
Ma'am, the answer is Alexa because others need an internet to work, but Alexa does not need internet to work.
Okay, you're saying Alexa does not need internet to work? You're sure about that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm afraid that is also the incorrect answer. So we are going to have to pass on to the next student. Izan, would you like to go ahead?
Ma'am, it's downloading an app
Okay, would you like to explain why?
because all of the others help us to connect with somebody else, but downloading an app does not help us to connect with others.
All right, but what happens if you download an app like Facebook, which helps you connect and communicate with others? Yeah, I'm sorry, Izan, that is also the incorrect answer. Nobody gets the point for this question. We are going to reveal the answer. Connectivity here is actually referring to internet connection. Taking a photo with a camera is the only activity which does not require an internet connection. So that is the answer we were looking for. Unfortunately, nobody gets the point for this, and we will move to the next question. All right, let's gear up for the next question. Okay, fifth question in the round. This is origin stories for 200 points. Identify this car company that is described. The company is named after an inventor who was a master of electricity. They build electric cars that use AI eyes to drive themselves. Which company is this? Okay, Aryan, would you like to go ahead?
Tesla.
Tesla is the correct answer, yes. And it's named after the inventor Nikola Tesla. And the company is known for electric cars with very advanced AI-based self-driving technology. Has anyone ever seen a Tesla, by the way, in their real life around them? No? Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's move to the last question in the round. What is the connect? Okay, so what three-letter acronym connects these technologies that you can see below? Google Pay, Phone Pay, and Paytm. What is common between all three of these technologies? All right, Aditya, please go ahead.
And QR code.
Okay, QR code, I'm afraid, is the wrong answer. We're going to pass it on to the next person. Aryan, please go ahead.
UPI,
Yes, UPI. Do you also happen to know the full form of UPI?
Unified Payments Interface.
That's absolutely correct. UPI, Unified Payments Interface, is the connection between all of these three apps. Did you know that 85% of digital payments in India are made using the UPI apps? That's a very huge number. And globally, India handles 49% of payments that are made through its UPI interface. So UPIs are actually very much in use by financial users. All right. We have closed round 2. We begin with round 3. That's for 300 points per item. Let's start with identify the picture. Okay, can you identify the AI image generator from this logo? Which AI image generator does this logo denote? Okay. Aditya has again pressed the buzzer quickly. Go ahead.
Midjourney.
Midjourney is the correct answer. Yes. Have any of you used Midjourney, by the way, while interacting with AI?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. Nice. All right. Let's move to the next question, which is identify the term. Look at the images on your screen. If you add them up, what is the term that you get? Maybe we'll just expand it a little so that we can see the image more clearly. Yeah, look at the first image clearly and then the second image. Join them together. What is the term that you get? Okay. Archisha, please go ahead.
Yeah, it's motherboard.
Yes, that's absolutely right. And what is a motherboard?
It's part of the computer hardware where
Yeah.
data is stored.
So it's part of the computer hardware. It's like the central place where all the circuits are joined. So it's a very important part of a computer. Absolutely. All right. Let's move to the next question, which is data detective for 300 points. Okay. Now this pie chart shows people's favorite types of pie with percentages for different flavors. Okay. Your question is, it violates one major rule when you draw pie charts. What is that rule that is being violated? And we'll just expand the picture for you. What is the rule that is being violated in the pie chart? We'll take about 5 seconds. Okay, Archisha is ready with an answer. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, it's 100%. The pie entirely is supposed to be equal to 100%, but then this pie chart is above 100%, the total.
Absolutely. Yes, that's absolutely correct. The figures, if you add them up, are exceeding 100%, which violates a major rule of pie chart. All the parts must always equal to 100% as the whole. Yeah. Okay. So let's move to the fourth question, which is odd one out for 300 points. Identify the odd one out. You have Google Maps, Google Pixel, Google Photos, Google Play, Google Slides, Google Search, all Google items. Hint is that you can hold this. So what is the odd one out? All right, Aditya, go ahead.
And Google Photos.
Google Photos, okay. And what is your reason?
Because you can hold it.
Because you can hold Google Photos. All right. I am sorry, that is the incorrect answer. So we are going to pass it on to the next students. Sajata, would you like to go ahead?
Ma'am, Google Pixel.
Okay, and what is your reason?
Ma'am, we can hold this, but we can't hold the rest.
Yes. Google Pixel is actually the phone that you can hold in your hand. All of the others are on the internet or apps which you cannot actually physically hold in your hand. It is a hardware device. All right. Let's move to the next question, which is origin stories for 300 points. The question is, you need to identify the technology company. Okay, the company's founders built this computer part using only Lego blocks. And it is named after a huge math number, 1 followed by 100 zeros. Which company is this? Okay, Aditya, please go ahead.
Google.
All right. Yes, Google is the correct answer. So Google's founders actually famously built their first servers using Lego blocks, if you can believe it. And Google means one followed by 100 zeros, which is what inspired the company's name, Google. All right. Let's move to the next question. What is the connect for 300 points? What do these apps have in common? Sora, Suno, and Google Music FX. What is common between these three apps? Okay, Aryan, go ahead.
They are all music generators.
Yes, that's absolutely correct. They are all AI music generators that can generate music for you if you just give it a simple prompt in text form. Brilliant. So Aryan gets the point for this one. This ends round 3 for us, and we are now going to move into round 4, where each question is going to be for 400 points. All right. Let's start with identify the picture. Unscramble the logo to identify which technology company's logo this is. Tell me the name of the company that has this logo after you unscramble the logo. All right, Aryan, go for it.
Meta.
Yes, that's the correct answer. Meta is the correct answer for this. And Meta Platforms has this infinity sign. Brilliant. Okay, let's move to the second question for 400 points, which is identify the term. Identify this technology term. You can see the picture on your left side and the right side. If you add them up, what is the term that you get? Okay, buzzer is activated. Aditya, please go ahead.
Cloud storage.
Yes, that's the correct answer. Cloud storage is correct. And this is a way that you can save your files online so you can access them from any device, right? So cloud storage is the correct answer, and the point goes to Aditya. Okay. Moving to the third question on data detective. All right, so the chart shows top 5 summer movies by domestic revenue for each year from 2019 to 2025. Your question is, why is the height of each movie poster different? So look at the image on the right side and tell me, why is the height of each movie poster different? What does that indicate? All right, Aditya, go ahead.
Ma'am, the higher the poster, the higher the revenue generates.
Yes, that's
Generated.
absolutely correct. So the poster height is showing you how much money was made by that movie in that year. And so the heights is indicating the revenue. And so a higher height would mean increased revenue. That is the correct answer. Right? So let's give the point to Aditya. And we'll move to the fourth question for 400 points. Odd one out. And these are the tougher questions for us, remember. So here you see Snapchat filters, Face ID, QR code scanner, Google Lens, self-driving car camera, and ChatGPT. Your hint is, do I use AI? What is the odd one out based on the hint that is given? Aryan, would you like to go ahead?
Yeah. Hold on a sec.
All right, we're going to take
But hold on. QR code scanner?
All right, and what is your reasoning?
Because you do not need an AI to scan a QR code, whereas you need it to identify a plant, see
Yeah.
the things around you, put a filter correctly, see the Face ID, or talk to ChatGPT.
Right, absolutely correct. And I like that you took a moment to reflect on your answer before giving it. QR scanner is the correct answer. It does not require an AI agent or AI models to function. So QR scanner is the only one that does not require AI. All right, so the point goes to Aryan. Moving to original stories for 400 points. Your question is, you need to identify the streaming platform, okay? This company used to mail movie DVDs to houses in bright red envelopes. Their AI guesses which show you will want to watch next. Which platform are we talking about? And Archisha, please go ahead.
Yeah, it's Netflix.
Yes, that's absolutely correct. Netflix is the company we're talking about. It actually started as a DVD by mail service. And now it's gone into an online platform where it suggests movies based on your viewing pattern or your watching pattern. Brilliant. All right, Archisha gets the point. Last question. What is the connect for 400 points in this round? What is the connect here? Both vehicles are using AI to find and locate specific items. What is this common action called? You can see Waymo and you can see Perseverance rover. What is this common action called that they are both doing? And Izan, you can go ahead.
GPS.
GPS, okay. That's the incorrect answer. Although I think you are on the right track in terms of thinking. We'll pass it to the next student. Yeah, Sujata, you can go ahead.
Ma'am, are they scanning?
Scanning is incorrect. I am sorry. We are going to move to the third participant. Parv, would you like to go ahead?
I'm locating things.
Locating things. Yes. So remember, we're looking for a very technical term. So while all of you principally have identified what is happening, I'm sorry, this is the incorrect answer. The correct term is object detection. This is a feature or a function that these models use in order to carry out other functions. So object detection is the correct technical term. All right, so nobody gets a point for this. We only have minus 400s for this round. This closes the round for 400 points. Let's move now to the last round of 500 points per question. Okay, let's begin with identify the picture. Unscramble the logo to identify this AI assistant. And the buzzer will be activated in some time. In 3, 2, 1. All right, let's go. Aryan, go ahead.
Copilot.
Yes, that is the correct answer. Microsoft Copilot is the logo that this turns into once you unscramble it. So we can just see the unscrambled logo. Yeah. Okay, Aryan gets 500 points for this question. Let's quickly move to the second one. Identify the term. Identify this technology term and let's expand it so that everyone can see it carefully and answer it accurately. Take a minute to look at the pictures carefully and identify the technology term. All right, let's come back to the buzzer. Aryan, please go ahead.
Search engine.
Yes, that's correct. Search engine, because the person is searching in the first picture and the other one is the picture of an engine, right? What does the search engine do? It's a website that helps you find information on the internet. So Aryan gets 500 points for this question for search engine as the answer. All right, let's move to the third question in this round, which is data detective. This graph shows the percentage of respondents using ChatGPT at different frequencies across age groups. So you can see 18 to 24, 25 to 35, right? Your question is, based on the graph, what percentage of 55-year-olds have never used ChatGPT? Okay, remember, you are given the information on how frequently 55-year-olds use ChatGPT. We want to know what percentage of 55-year-olds have never used ChatGPT? We'll stay on the screen for around 10 seconds and then we'll move to the buzzer. All right, let's come back to the buzzer. Archisha, go ahead.
85%.
All right, and can you run me through what you did to get 85%?
Okay, so if you add 1, 9, 2, and 3, you get 15%. So that's 15% of 55-year-olds who have used ChatGPT, while the rest 85% have not used it.
Not use ChatGPT. And that's a perfect explanation. 500 points to Archisha for the correct answer, which is 85%. Brilliant. All right. Third question now for 500 points, which is odd one out. Remember, this is a tough question. Identify the odd one out. There's AlphaGo, there's OpenAI 5, there's Stockfish, there's Forza Driver Stars, and there's Akinator, and there's Pac-Man Coasts. Okay. The hint is retro gaming, right? Your parents might have actually played this game. You may not have. Identify the odd one out. Sorry, I have not called out the name yet, so we'll just wait for a second. And Aryan, yes, go ahead, Aryan. Yeah.
Pac-Man Ghosts,
Okay, and what is your reason?
because it's like the old style retro arcade gaming.
Okay. Do you see any other reason for Pac-Man Ghost being the answer amongst all these other games? What
Um,
else sets Pac-Man apart from these other games?
uh, I don't know. It's really old time, and you mentioned that your parents must have played this.
Okay, that hint kind of gave it away. Noted. So Pac-Man Ghost is the correct answer, yes. But why this is also different from the other games is these other games have AI as a player. Pac-Man Ghost does not. That's just you interacting with the application. Fun fact for you, AlphaGo, which is now called AlphaZero, and Stockfish, which are two AI generated games, they actually played against each other in 2018. They played a game of chess against each other. Now, Stockfish it understands the rules of chess, it understands the rules of strategies, and all of those have been coded into the game. But AlphaGo or AlphaZero did not have any knowledge about chess, and it spent only 4 hours learning about the game, and it beat Stockfish in the chess game in 2017. So, a very interesting point on how AI models, learning models, actually end up teaching certain models to do things better versus a model that does not learn to learn new things through positive reinforcement. So, yes, Pac-Man Coast, the point goes to Aryan, 500 points. Okay, let's go to the second last question. Origin stories for 500 points. Identify the technology company, okay? They started by selling dried fish and noodles long before they made phones. Their name means 3 stars in the Korean language. Which company are we talking about? Okay, let's filter the buzzer. And Aryan, yes, go ahead.
Samsung.
Okay, yes, that is the correct answer. Samsung began as a trading company selling only food products in 1938 and later expanded into electronics and smartphones worldwide and is the company as we know it today. All right, let's move to the last question for 500 points, which is on what is the connect. And the question is, so the government of India has connected its Bhashini AI tool with WhatsApp. You can see Bhashini on WhatsApp. How does this help people who cannot read or write in English? Okay, let's filter the buzzer and let's see who is the one who goes first. Archisha, go ahead.
Yeah, it uses regional languages like people living in villages, whichever region they're from, like maybe
Hmm.
Bihar or let's say West Bengal. For
Okay.
West Bengal, the regional language is Bengali, so yeah, it translates it to the regional language.
So what problem is it solving for exactly?
For people who don't have English literacy,
Okay. And what is the role of AI here? What is AI doing?
it translates the language into the regional language.
Yeah. AI talks back with the answers in the same language. So anyone who doesn't know English also is able to speak using communicate using their regional language. So that is the correct answer. And Archisha ends the round taking 500 points in the quiz. And let's reveal the winners of this quiz. Right. So the top winner is Aryan for this round 2 of Trailblazers. Can we look at let's quickly give him a round of applause. Good job, Aryan. Second place is Archisha Ray with 2,300 points. And Aditya comes third with 700 points. So a big round of applause to all of you who really gave it your all in this quiz and gave such interesting, fantastic answers with a lot of reflection. Huge applause for all of you. Yeah.
Actually, just one thing if I can share.
Yes, please go ahead. Sure.
Actually, I also run an AI startup called Tekura, which is like an alternative to Office 365. I presented it to Sabir Bhatia, IIT Delhi, and Google Office.
All right. Okay. Wow. You all are starting young. That's great. Congratulations, Arjun. Yeah.
Thank you.
Over to you, Ashwini.
Thank you. Thanks, Anshali. And yeah, lots of congratulations and a Amazingly done, all of you. Irrespective of who the winners are, just the fact that from all these people who participated, all the kids who participated across the country, and like I mentioned, outside the country as well, the fact that all of you are here and are already acing it and will continue to ace it is a feather in your hat. So awesome. In fact, for those watching, it's clear that this generation is super well informed, right? So if any of you learned something during this quiz, good for you. If you're able to answer. Sorry? If you were able to answer certain questions as well, great for you again. So yeah, never too late to learn, right? All right, so we wanted to take it a step further. We'll take a little pause from the quiz before we move to the visionaries. So in the meantime, we can bid adieu to our trailblazers. We shall see you real soon. And of course, your prizes will reach you in due course. Also, thank you so much, Anshali, for that super high energy, dynamic quiz and yeah, facilitating the entire session. We'll have another quiz master for you shortly. But before that, we wanted to take it one step further. So it's one thing to know the trivia, to know about AI tools, about AI brands, but it is another to see how these skills actually build the world that we live in, right? That's why we believe it's so important to bring in industry voices to show our finalists that the logic and digital thinking that they are using today are the exact same tools being used to solve massive global challenges, right? Exact what we're doing in a quiz, what we do to solve these smaller problems on a paper, on a screen. Maybe 10x or 100x version is what people in actual industry do. It's the same skill being used at a larger scale, which I'm sure Arya can also very much relate to. All right. So to help us bridge that gap, we have a very special recorded message from a leader in the forefront of technology. So we'd like to welcome Ms. Parna Mehta, who is a cloud and AI ML tech professional from Amazon, in particular the Amazon Future Engineers project. She's an absolute powerhouse. She's an ATEX AWS certified member. She also brings a perspective that hits home for us today because she's a parent herself, in addition to being a tech professional. So she sees the world of AI through the lens of a global tech leader and through the eyes of someone who's raising the next generation. So we'll play her insights in the form of a mini podcast for all of you on why these skills matter for the future. And in the meantime, you can feel free to exit the session. We'll take you backstage. And yeah, let's get set with the podcast.
Yeah, so thank you one and all for joining this webinar. So we're going to look at demystifying AI for students and parents. So we have Parna Mehta, cloud and AI ML tech professional from Amazon.
Hey, hi everyone.
Hi. So Parna is going to help us, answer some of these questions, some basic questions about AI, also something that is related to, say, safety of how to use AI, and also give us a glimpse of what Amazon is up to in the field of artificial intelligence. Right. So with that, I think we can begin this conversation with a very simple question on what AI is. Say, for example, if a 10-year-old child comes to you and asks this particular question, how would you go about answering this?
All right. So first of all, thank you so much to EI and Bharat for welcoming me here, and hi to all the parents and children. And I'm hoping that you're really excited about this event. I'm really loving the concept. So thanks for bringing me here. As for what is AI, so now think of it as training a machine to think, reason, and opinionate just like a human being. So you teach a computer or a system to do and behave like a human. So that's what is called as artificial intelligence. So usually a machine does not have any intelligence of its own, but you can train it to think and behave. So that's artificial intelligence.
Right. Sounds very interesting. Looks like a superpower that we are giving to a machine.
Definitely.
Right? Yeah. So, I mean, with great power comes great responsibility, is what we have heard, right? So, does this mean that AI actually is good at doing all the things that we ask it to, or are there even, some bad things that it can't do something good as well?
All right. So the main reason AI, I would say, came into the picture was for humans to do repetitive work or process a lot of data, large amount of data, different types of data, or what we call as unstructured data. There's text, there's images, there's sound. So if we want humans to do that, it's not that they cannot do that. It just will take a lot of time. Yeah, and it will take a lot of efforts, a lot of team members to come around and do it, a lot of processing. So why not come out with a concept that can actually help speeden up that process? So for automating it to make processes more streamlined, meaning what probably you would take a week to do, AI would take like a few minutes to process, right? So in those areas, AI is really good, and AI in general has evolved. So it's no more just chat GPT where you put in a text and it will just do a question answer. It can think and it can take actions also these days, right? You can also go and tell it that, hey, I'm planning for a trip or in the end of March. Please find me a good hill station in India and just check my calendar and book a date between so and so dates for 5 people, and these are my preferences. And it will do all of that. It will actually go and look into your calendar, see when you are available. Probably it knows what your preferences are. Maybe you are more of a hill station person rather than a beach person, so it will keep track of that. It will go and look up airlines which have cheaper options. It will look out for hotel preferences. Probably you always prefer resorts, so it will go and look for that, and it will do the entire end-to-end booking for you, right? So it can do smart things like that apart from just question answers. Or you have a whole lot of data. Say you have an Excel sheet, most of you kids and of course parents must have used, and it's got like thousands of rows and columns of data, right? So for a human being to actually go and analyze it and look out for certain common patterns and all, it's quite difficult, right? Whereas AI can do it in a matter of seconds and minutes. So processing a lot of data, it's good with that too. So I think all these automations and speed of processing, these kind of things AI is good at. Like I said, it's not only text anymore. You can actually give it an image, right? Say you liked something somewhere, you like this particular set of shoes, and you want to ask the AI agent on your favorite retail site, say Amazon, right? And you go and upload that picture and says, do you have something like that? And it will actually search like humongous amounts of data and find a product which matches that, right? So AI is good at all these things. In terms of bad at, I would say at the end of the day, it's artificial, right? It's not human, so it cannot really understand human emotions. So if you're treating it as your partner who can be your therapist, it's a bad idea, right? So it might give you really pleasing answers, like you must have seen it'll say you awesome, great, you are doing really well, but it lacks emotion completely. It doesn't understand sarcasm. It cannot do critical thinking. Like for example, you have two sets of documents which you are comparing, and probably you will be able to read between the words, or I'll say two sets of resume you are comparing. Many things AI might miss out. AI will look out for keywords, right? Does A have so many skills, B has so many skills, but you might be able to read between the words and realize the potential of a person. Those are like things, critical reasoning things that only a human can do. So I think those things, and something I won't say they are bad at, it depends on the data that the AI has been trained in. So remember, AI is all dependent on what data you fed it in. Good data fed in, it will give you good output. Bad data fed in, it will give you bad output. So it can have a bias. So what do I mean by bias? So AI can be biased at times based on what kind of data the person who's trained the AI system, it depends on that. So for example, say you've trained the machine learning model with a lot of images, and most of these images say have male photos in them. So next time you ask it to generate an image, it will naturally give out an image of a male because that's what it has been trained in. So it's become biased towards the gender, right? So that can be something which can happen in AI. And probably there are some ethical concerns also, like you as a human being, you exercise a lot of ethical justification probably when you're choosing a candidate or you're making a decision when say somebody applies for a loan, etc. Whereas AI is very practical, right? It's based on what previous data you've trained it on. So sometimes it can go wrong in those. So when there are very critical decisions, it may not do a very good job at that. You have to be very careful. So yes, so there's the good and the bad to it.
Right, right. Quite elaborate on that. So just to summarize for our audience, so it's really good with data and large amount of data and diverse data. So it is able to identify those patterns and help us plan maybe something like a trip. So that was like the good aspect of it, which it actually does as a, does a decent job there. But whereas when there are critical decisions to be taken, for example, such as hiring a person for a company, it might not be able to read between the lines, is what is the take.
Or
Absolutely.
Bharat, I'll give like a simple example which most people will relate to. Say your email, your inbox is filling up, right? And you will see some of your mails are going into your spam folder. So again, that's a good place. So AI over here is actually doing a job of filtering between spammy mails or bad mails and the good mails, right? So it can help you to actually clean up your inbox over there. Imagine if you have to spend your entire weekend sitting and clearing out your inbox. So it will take you hours, right? Whereas this is automatically clearing out just based on some keywords, right? You know, bumper prize, or you are going to win like 20 million and it will just move it over there. So again, spam, it can do such kind of tasks as well. So it's good at that.
Absolutely, yeah. Saving a lot of time,
Yes.
human hours in our lives.
Yeah, very
so
precious.
I think that's
Time
also
is
like
money.
one of the yes, yeah. So, right, on that note, like let's move on to the next question because AI is there, right, in the public domain, and different people have different perception about AI, right? Maybe a student will have a certain kind of notion about AI, but whereas a professional like you will have a different opinion. So, what do you think are some of the myths about AI that you can talk about here?
Okay. So the first myth that most people have, probably children won't relate to it too much. It's like AI is going to take away your job. Oh my God, what's going to happen? I'm going to be replaced. So AI is like your buddy, right? You can use it, like I said, to enhance your productivity, whether it's at work, whether it's in your education, it's going to help you. So you can think of it as your ally. The faster you upskill and learn
Right.
these AI tools, it will be better for you because you will be able to demonstrate to your colleagues, to your classmates, how you can do things quickly, more reliably, faster, better quality. So AI is going to help you over there, but it cannot completely replace the human aspect. So there is always a need for humans everywhere, right? There's always human in the loop, like I say. So that's a myth. So you need to learn to use AI well and of course keep upskilling and learn. So it's a lifelong learning. You cannot stop that I've learned something and now I need to stop. As you know, technology keeps evolving. So keep learning and use it as your ally. So I think that's the biggest myth. And how you leverage the AI, that totally depends on you. As I know, some parents would be worried, is my child overly reliant on AI? Again, treat it as a buddy to help them with their schoolwork, with their education, with their upskilling. But it will not completely replace your teachers, right? Your teachers will always be your source of truth, I'll say. AI can sometimes give you some seemingly convincing answers, but it might be completely false. So your go-to person should always be your teachers or your parents. Always verify it. So yeah, so like I said, the myth is it will cannot replace a human being totally.
All right. Thank you for debunking that. That has been like a worry for like a lot of people, and especially like teachers and students, right? If AI is able to do all the things, then what am I supposed to do?
Right.
That kind of a question comes out, right? So yeah, so on that note, moving on to the next question. So we did kind of start to touch upon some of the points where students can actually leverage, right? So we during interviews with students, during interactions with them, so they often say that they use AI for maybe doing their homework, like writing their essays, or maybe solving simple math problems. Is that all that the students can at least do? We did see examples of, say, practical examples such as planning your vacation and things like that and crunching data. But for students, what are other ways in which they can leverage AI to help them maybe study better?
Sure. So, what you need to do is AI tools are not your instant source of answer. That's not your starting, sorry, that's not your ending point. That's your starting point. So once you probably you're stuck on a difficult concept and you want the AI tool to help you understand it, then you can go and brainstorm with the AI tool. You can ask it deeper questions, right? So there is a particular concept you're learning in school. Okay, so for example, photosynthesis, and you want to know more about it. Probably you are a visual student, so you can ask AI, hey, can you create an illustration or a simple diagram to show me the process of rain cycle or photosynthesis? Or probably you have this huge chapter which you are learning about, say, Indus Valley civilization, and there are a lot of dates and things you need to remember, and children find it very difficult. So you can ask it to create a mind map for you. Okay, so mind map is good not only for children, it's even for adult education. We use that. So when a mind map is, there are little words, so it's very easy for you to look through that diagram and understand. So again, you can use the AI tool beyond just asking direct question answers. The other places where you can use is, say, for example, you need to do a project and you are at a loss of ideas. So you can brainstorm your initial idea. Always start with yourself. Like you can say that I have this idea. What do you think? And how can it be enhanced? So then the AI tool will give you some ideas. It will give you some enhancements and suggestions, which you can use to build on it. So for your projects and all, it is very good. Or for example, you have to write a speech. Always students should make their initial draft. So I would suggest that don't go and tell the AI tool, hey, write a speech on XYZ topic. Write your own thing. You have the advantage these days that AI tools can read files. So you can upload your file, ask it to analyze it, correct any grammatical mistakes, or use better, impactful words. Maybe students with limited vocabulary, right? Many students from, say, vernacular medium, they might have language limitations. They aspire to do things, but again, language holds them back. So they can use it, right? Probably they can translate it from Hindi to English or from another language to English, then correct grammatical mistakes, make it better. That's where you can use AI again, right? And I think right now we are talking about students in day to day, but what about the students who have hearing a disability, or they have like some blindness situation, or they have limited visibility? For them, they can use speech to text, text to speech, right? They can leverage those things for AI as well. So it's not only just asking a question, not passively asking a question, getting an answer, but for all those. But I'll tell you the best part where AI comes in, because your teachers are there only for those 8 hours. You have a homework, you have an assignment, and you're sitting at 10 p.m. wondering, I can't understand what to do, and I don't understand this concept. Who will you go to? Of course, ask your parent first. And if they don't have an answer, this is 24/7, right? You can leverage AI there. So I think there are a lot many ways. This is just a few of them that I suggested. Yeah.
Right.
So,
Absolutely. I mean, I think you jotted down some very key and practical, uses of AI for students there. And one of the key items, maybe from whatever you'd spoken, was an attitude change among children, wherein they look at AI as an ally and not someone who actually can do their homework. So I think that attitude shift is something very important.
yeah, and just to add to that, Bharat, like I was just thinking that there are a lot of students who are introverts. Okay, there are some students who will always raise their hand and ask their questions, and there are some students who feel shy, or they would think that my question could be thought of as really dumb. So they like the fact that they can ask AI anything, right? So for those students who are a little shy, AI can be an advantage to them. They don't need to think about, does AI have feelings, and will AI have an opinion about me? So for them also, this is really good, right? So for example, they are talking about planets, and they say like Earth has one moon. What if Earth has two moons? What will happen then, right? So they might be discouraged to ask that in class, but they'll feel free to ask that to AI, right? So it's good for those students as well, I feel.
Absolutely. I think you touched upon a very important point where the answer to a question like that would be a simulation. And
Right.
if you ask an AI to help simulate something with the
Absolutely.
given physics, it actually can give you a video of how it might, pan out.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you just said, simulation. Like, for example, if you're learning biology, and we always look at 2D images of the heart. Now, there'll be the curious children who would want to know what it looks like in 3D. So that AI tool can actually create a 3D visualization, and they can look through it. Or, when you slice up the earth, looking through the different layers, right? All this you can do with your AI tool. You probably can't do it with a textbook, right? So that's where it will really help you enhance your knowledge.
Absolutely, yeah. Great. Pretty detailed again answer and very useful as well, I think. Yeah. Moving on to the next one, we did hear about what students can do. We just want to know what are some cool things that you have done using AI. Maybe it could be something for your personal work, or it could be for your work at Amazon. Yeah.
So, like I said, sometimes my inbox is like filled with mails, or my messaging platform is filled with, and when I get up in the morning, there's too many to go through. So I have used automations to give me a summarized view of what is high criticality, which has to be looked at instantly, which are low criticality. So it helps me to prioritize my task, gives me a summarized view of all the messages that has come across. When I have to submit a report, right? So generally we'll put all our thoughts down, but when it comes to collating it, it becomes really difficult. So I usually use it to create a more structured report or article that I need to write. I've used it for that. I conduct a lot of technical sessions. So I need to create illustrations, or I need to create posters for announcing the session. So that's where, again, I use AI tools to generate images or give me suggestions of taglines and things like that. Yeah, so these are some of the things, like just on and off work. Also, I use AI for, so it's really cool for that.
Absolutely. Again, saving time and also helping you communicate things in a much better and faster way.
Right.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah. So I think we briefly touched upon this in the earlier part of this conversation. For someone who's new to AI, right? How would, maybe they use AI to learn something, right? What would be the basic strategy that they can follow if they're using AI for the first time?
Okay. So, say you are interested in learning a particular topic, right? Now, if you just go and do a Google search, you'll get n number of articles, and you just don't know where to start. So you can start by asking the AI to create a learning plan for you, and you can be very specific that you can say this is for a 10-year-old, right? Who has basic English language understanding. You can be very specific, right? You can say that I need to do a research on XYZ topic. It has to be about 500 words long, right? So give me details from academic sources only, right? So when you want to learn something and you are very sure of the specific areas you want to pick up, you customize your prompt appropriately, right? So that's where you can use AI. There are lots of videos these days where you get free learning, but you might say that it's like 2 hours long. How will I spend every day 2 hours learning this? So you can use transcription. So it will actually translate the video's text, the video to text, and then you can summarize it, right? So you can do it for two purposes. It will actually create the transcript. Transcript is basically, it will convert the video to text version, and then you summarize it. So you can actually learn whatever's there in that video in just a matter of 15 minutes. You can leverage it for that purpose also. Then, like I was telling you, the other strategies, like I mentioned before, creating mind maps, right? That's a very effective strategy. You can use AI to convert text to speech. You do not have the time to sit and read while you're exercising, while you are on the go. You can just have your headphones, it will convert to speech, and then you can hear that audio, right? That is another way of learning, I would say, where it can help you. So there are various ways, but I think the first part is where, like I said, create a learning plan. You can be very specific. Apart from the style and the age preferences, you can say the duration. Say if you're targeting to finish learning XYZ within 2 weeks. So you can say, create a learning plan for me for the next 10 days, which I can complete by the next 10 days. Create a quiz for me. So after every module, create a quiz with 10 question answers. So these are the different strategies, right, to help you learn. So if there's a quiz, remember, you can test yourself, and based on that, you can understand whether you can move on to the next module. So the AI can create this whole plan for you. So that's, I think, a good way of using AI.
Absolutely, yes. So what kind of stood out for me is first, probably the student has to just sit down and think of what exactly that they want to, learn, and
Right.
communicate it to the AI, and it'll charter the journey for you.
Correct.
So,
Yeah.
right.
So try and not be vague. So when I say, make sure when you give specific instructions, if you just say, I want to learn about, say, zoology, then it's very broad, right? But if you are very specific, which particular subcategory of zoology you are interested in, for which age group, what is the duration that you're looking for, things like that. Do you want it in visual format? Do you want it in only text format? If you give specific instructions, it will generate a great output for you.
Right. Like, students have to become better at communication. Like, whatever is there in their head has to come out in
Correct.
words. So that's like one of the key skills, I think, the student.
Yeah, that's what we call, Bharat, as prompt engineering, right? It's
Yeah.
You have to tweak your instructions such a way that it gives you better output.
Absolutely. Right. Yeah. So we've looked at a lot of positive aspects of AI, right? But again, we read some news that is, say, slightly disturbing in terms of, say, students or people in general are able to, create deepfake videos or pictures, right? And this kind of is a safety issue, a digital safety issue. So what would be your, say, advice in terms of how to be a responsible citizen considering these kind of, things are happening around the world?
Yeah, so this is something I think the parents also need to be a little alert about. They need to keep a check on the kind of AI tools their children are using. There will be some kind of data privacy policy that will be there. They need to check whether how are they storing the information that they collect from the children. Okay, so if you feel that it's unnecessary, you'll see that sometimes at the time of creating a user account, it will ask you a lot of demographic details, which is unrelated to actually the AI tool by itself or the purpose. So just see what kind of data they are collecting. Also, they'll mention about whether how they're going to use that data, whether it's going to be shared with third parties, whether they're going to be training their models with that data. So we don't want our personal data to be used for training those models. Imagine my details coming out on somebody else's screen, right? So what we call as personal identification data. So make sure that you go through that before accepting the terms and conditions. Most of the platforms and tools have this option where you can turn it off. Some of them might be cheeky, they might keep it on by default and you might miss it, but make sure you go through that. Also, make sure that the tools that your child is using, it is age appropriate. right? Because you don't know on that platform if there are other adults coming onto that platform, if there is an ability for other adults to interact with your children. So make sure it is specific. There's no harmful content that will accidentally come up on your child's screen, right? And when you're choosing educational AI tools, right, make sure that it is encouraging active learning, right? They are not just scrolling passively. It should encourage active learning without having to constantly input personal data in there. So those are some safety rules that you need to take care of. And another thing, as a responsible citizen, the children should always verify the information that is coming to them. Most people have this tendency that I've got this, let me share it ahead to 200 others. So what is happening? We are spreading misinformation, right? Not only we are consuming it, we are making what we call as WhatsApp university, right? Like we found it useful, so we sent it. So be responsible, verify the information before sharing it ahead as well. So that's, I think, very important.
Absolutely, yeah. I think underlying point, at least if students are slightly younger students are using it, the onus kind of lies with the parents. So they'll have to vet the app and understand what is happening with their child. Absolutely, yes, right. Moving on, like this is again like a a question that can get us in trouble in terms of, does AI actually, make students curious, or does it actually make them dull?
So there is no yes or no answer to it. It's how you use it, right? So like I said, AI tools cannot be just your end answer, right? Just ask it a question and you're done. So if you can leverage that AI for purposes beyond just Q&A, like I said, for brainstorming, for creativity, right? You have a creative project where you come up with ideas and then let AI enhance it, right? So that can again spark some interest amongst children. Okay, so like it is very good for the ones who are overly curious. Like I said, they can dig deeper into why and hows of things, which they can probably not do that in a regular class hour, right? All classes have limited time, and every teacher has over 20 or 50 students in front of them. They cannot give them personalized attention. But with an AI tool, this is your personal guide, right? So you can ask your whys and hows over here as well. For children who probably lack confidence in certain subjects, they can again leverage AI to help them with subjects, right? Say they're learning a language, right? Again, it can help them. It can create a learning plan for them or help them to translate words for them and things like that. So here, I think AI can really help, right? Make the child more curious, brainstorm, probably be like a guide who can enhance their educational work. But then there is something called as AI dishonesty. Like some children will just pass on an essay, just ask AI, hey, write a 200-word essay and pass it on. So that's where I think it can create a dullness, because they're just passively consuming the data, not really doing mind application over there at all. So I think it is the onus of the parents, or if the teacher, if they are allowing them to use that in school, depends, to make sure that they are utilizing the AI to enhance their knowledge, not like a ready-made, source of data. So that's again something adult supervision needs to be done for that.
Right.
So
Yeah. Yeah. So what I hear is like the heavy lifting has to be done by the student's brain and not by AI itself.
correct. Because like I said, AI can also give wrong information, right? So the student has to do that critical thinking themselves. Even if they leverage it as a buddy, still you have to response which has come, verify the sources. From where has the sources come? Are they credible sources? That again a human can only do, right? Has it just dropped out some information, or has it come from credible academic books or blogs which are reliable ones or no? And then based on that consume it. Okay, so there is some amount of brain work the child has to do still, right? So that's where I think it helps to increase the curiosity of the child. But if they just use it to directly give the answer, yes, probably it will make the child a little lazy.
Sure, absolutely. Yes. So moving on to the next segment is something that we are excited to hear about. So if you can just brief about, some of the innovations that are happening in Amazon in this field of AI.
So there are a lot of them, but probably the most common ones possibly you all would have heard about. A lot of you have Echo speaker devices which are powered by Alexa, which is like your virtual assistant, right? So this is again conversational AI. So it can do a natural language conversation with you. It can recognize speech. So it can also understand different languages and accents. So say a British English is very different from American English. So it can understand that as well. It can understand that language, pick up the intent of what you're asking, right? So that's called intent detection. You can say that, what's the weather like today in Mumbai, right? Or so tell me about the latest news in India. Right. So you can ask a lot of questions. You can ask these days. You can make it to do things also. Hey, block my calendar for a meeting. So again, this is conversational AI. So Alexa is there. Then if you've been shopping a lot on the Amazon's e-commerce website, you must have encountered Rufus, right? So I'm sorry, my Alexa has started talking.
Right.
Because I said Alexa. Yeah. So I'm sorry about that. So then we have Rufus, and Rufus is again our e-commerce AI conversational agent. With this, you can actually compare products. So say you're purchasing something and you want to compare it with other products and models. So it will do that for you. It can summarize all the reviews that have come. Now you will see like thousands of reviews. How can you go through all of them? It's not humanly possible. So it will give you a nice summarized version of the reviews, and it will show something called as sentiment analysis. So was the sentiment positive or negative about this product, or was it neutral? So it can give you information about that. So that's where you can leverage Rufus. Then if you've been watching Prime Video, now you would have seen that Prime Video is very smart in detecting what kind of genre you like. If you like action movies, you like animated. So if you watch once, next time you'll see it will automatically go and show and recommend this. So what is this? This is called as recommendation engine or personalization. So it understands what you prefer and accordingly it will show that to you, right? So that's where Prime Video is there. Then if some of you would have leveraged Prime Music, right? So in Prime Music, there is a new feature which is called as Maestro. So it's like a wizard which can create a playlist for you, right? So again, people have preferences about songs, music, and what kind of genre they like. Some people like spiritual, some people like jazz, pop. So it will curate an entire list for you based on your preferences. Again, I was talking about a summarization, which I use at work. So say you want to watch something on Prime, right? On Prime Video, and there is a series going on and you want just a recap of what happened in that season. So then we have something called as the Prime Video recap. So it will give you an entire recap, a short story about what it's about. So a lot of areas we are using AI in. We probably don't have, I don't really have an image also for that. There is just walkout technology or Amazon Go, if you've heard about that, where you can just go and walk into those Amazon Go stores, and it uses computer vision and object detection. So you just drop your items into your shopping basket and it will detect it, and you can just walk out without a cashier, right? And you've just completed your shopping experience. So a whole lot of places AI is being used. I think these are the most commonplace ones you have probably heard of.
Right. super exciting. I think, I
Yeah,
think
this is the same one. I think Bharat, the ratings, like I said, so it's a summarize. This is what customers say. You can see that over there. So it's just giving you a summarization of all the reviews. Like you don't have time to go through it. We'll give you the review, right? So you can see the summarization and it's picked up the key qualities. So you can see those tick marks. So even detecting or categorization, it's very good at. So it's gone and picked up what are the key features. So in one shot, you can see everything, right? So this is like a classic case where AI is being used. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Exciting. Like there are so many products that use AI
Yeah.
and mostly maybe for optimization and for convenience, but it actually
Convenient.
enhances the experience of the customer there.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you think about it, if you go to Amazon retail, there are millions of products, even for to create that product card, right? The image of the product, description. We use AI over there also, right? To generate the product images, the product description, even the search. So when you are putting it in the search where that's all AI powered search. How does it search through millions of products? Have you ever seen the fact that say you bought an umbrella, then it will start suggesting you probably a raincoat. Why? Because it has understood that probably you are interested in rainwear. So let me try and suggest that to you. Or if you've in the past you've bought things which are blue in color, next time you'll see that it'll probably pop up some clothing which is blue, right? So that's again personalization, recommendation, understanding your needs, and people like that, like, right? It's convenient, it's faster. You can check out faster. So yes, it's about giving more time back to you.
Exactly. Yeah. Time saving. And as you said, time is money in this.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So like all these are like great. Now, what would really help our audience is, say if someone wants to join, like as a young aspirant, a young student who wants to join a company like Amazon. So what kind of attributes and skill sets would these students require?
Okay. So I think some things that you cannot take away from a human is empathy. Okay, these are very important human skills which no AI can replicate. So you should have that empathy. So we have this leadership principle in Amazon, which is called as customer obsession and working backwards. So it's not that we create a product and then we give it to the customer and say, okay, use it. Because the customer needs it, they've given feedback, it will be good for them, we've heard them, and then we build backwards. So that you need a lot of empathy to do that, right? To think from somebody else's point of view. So those are attributes which are required. Then critical reasoning. Okay, so we humans have this innate skill to understand the room, right? Even if, for example, AI cannot understand sarcasm, it cannot feel the mood in the room and things like that. So when you are put in a group full of people, right, communication skills, working with diverse sets of people who have different opinion. So if you know, for MBAs we have group discussion. What is the point of the group discussion? When you're put into a room and you'll talk about a particular topic, how can diverse people interact, come to a consensus? So these are something which you cannot do with an AI. It's just like one to one, right? Skills like direct human connections, right? When you look into a person's eyes and have a conversation, that is a complete different level of human connection. So your AI buddy is fine, but make real friends, I will say. So that will help you when you grow up to have to be able to present better, to be able to communicate with diverse sets of people. Those social skills will not come just by talking to an AI tool. So I think these are the things that you definitely need. And of course, problem solving. Do not feed in data and expect AI to give you direct answer. Go and solve those difficult math problems. So because problem solving skills is something you'll always need in life. So make sure you sharpen it at a younger stage itself. Don't wait till you go for your job interview. So it builds over time. So these are attributes you need. No AI can replace that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Just to summarize that, so we had problem solving, we had critical thinking, and we had socialization, like wherein you
Human connections.
connections. Right, absolutely. I mean, that is fantastic. I think that would be very useful and insightful for the students and parents who are watching us. And we did touch upon this question. This is the last question that we have for today. So this is in terms of, is there, so we kind of went through that it is the parents' onus to actually look at the apps and figure out if it is, ideal or suitable for their children, right? Now, is there a hack for parents? Not everyone might be tech savvy, right? So, are there some basic, baselines that the parents can actually use to find out if it is a good app for their children?
So I would say just do a background check, go through reviews. Like that's the best way to do it, right? You can see the ratings of the apps, go through the reviews, talk to other parents who've used it, right? Getting feedback is one great way. You can try it out yourself, right? Before you just go say, yes, you can go and use that app. Why don't you try it out yourself as a parent? See what all, because what we tend to do is when we go and log in or create an account, we keep on selecting yes, 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 and children will not have that patience to do that, right? They'll accept everything and they'll create an account. So as a parent, I think you need to make sure that before they create an account, what all are the clauses? Are they going to be using some personal data for its own training or sharing it ahead? Because some of these apps will explicitly mention that it's this, you are consenting to sharing this information ahead. So again, I think parents should use it themselves once, have a look before they grant access to their children for using those apps, and do a little research, right? It always makes sense to go and see the ratings, to see, you'll find a lot of information online about there'll be forums which will probably have some answers to it, good and bad, both ways. So I think you should do that. And like I said, the first thing is it should be age appropriate, right? We have thousands of apps which come out every day. We don't know because they seemingly look innocent, but you'll see some odd ads come up in between and all. So we don't want that your children go and click on them. And, they might accidentally enter some data which they're not supposed to, right? So a good amount of research needs to be done from the parent side. Yeah.
Right. I think we should also leverage AI for researching additional to the reviews as well.
Yes, why not? You can probably say that which are the top 10 tools for XYZ, which are highly rated and are safe. Of course, you can actually create a good prompt to give you that list. And what one good thing of some of the AI apps are, like when it gives an answer, it will also give attribution. So attribution is the part where it tells you from where it got the source of information. So that is very important for a parent to check, because if it's just giving an answer without an attribution, that means it could imagine stuff, right? So if you have that attribution, then you know it's come from a valid source of truth. So that's something you can leverage AI for as well. Yeah.
Great. All right. We are at the end of this. Just to, summarize the entire session, I think it was a wonderful session wherein you had taken us into the depths of, the answers, and it was quite insightful, even for me, like just looking at some of the products that Amazon has, right? So that was really great. I think the key takeaways today would be curious, ask more questions, and just be empathetic to fellow humans. I think these are like the broad aspects or points that kind of came out both for parents and for students. In fact, if they have to check if the app is good or not, right? Thank you, Parna, so much for your time, and it was a very good and wonderful session here.
Thank you so much, Bharat and Team EI, and it was wonderful being here too. And good luck to all the children for the competition. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All right. So that was Miss Parna Mehta from Amazon. Miss Parna works for the Amazon Future Engineers program, which is something that even EI is very closely associated with. So there are about 40,000 children in Telangana that EI works with on making them AI literate in collaboration with Amazon. Most of these kids are actually from tribal communities, first generation learners. Parents are farmers and tribal workers. Anyway, so I hope that was a lot of interesting insight, but the show must go on. To quickly recap what we're doing here, the idea of doing this AI quiz was to spread some awareness around what AI literacy is, right? And it's not just about knowing the tech behind AI, but also the kind of thinking that goes into solving problems in an AI world, the impact that using AI has, the ethics around it, the responsibilities that we have, the risks that we might be running, the limitations around AI, also understanding media and information literacy, what to believe, what not to believe. In a world where AI can also write stories just like human can, AI can also generate pictures just like humans can, and AI can generate videos like humans can. How do you know what's true and what's not? And can it be used for good as well as for harmful? So what we did was we collaborated with IIT Madras and Amazon to bring to you this AI quiz. And we are already down with the round 2 of our Trailblazers. That is a junior category. So what we did was we started with 2 tracks. The first is called Track 1, Trailblazers, grades 5, 6, and 7. We just announced our winners from Trailblazers if you've been following along online. And now we're moving on to our Visionaries, grades 8, 9, and 10, who are already here. So we started with 766 participants across the country and from the UAE. So this is truly a national, in fact, a global quiz of sorts. So those of you who made it here, to definitely give yourself a round of applause. And of the 766, 427 appeared in round 1, and then we had 24 finalists, 12 from each track. So 12 from Trailblazers, 12 from Visionaries, and today we'll have 6 winners, 3 from Trailblazers and 3 from Visionaries. And you are not only going to be battling for the crown of being the AI Champions 2026, but also some very exciting prizes. Our winners, the top prize is an Apple iPad, and winner 2, that is runner-up and second runner-up, get an Instax Spotlight camera and a smartwatch. All right, so we are all set to begin. Just give us a few moments and we will be right with you. Okay, and we are back. Welcome again, Visionaries, and welcome again, everybody who's here today supporting our Visionaries, motivating them, because it's a grand battle. Okay, so for the Visionaries round, we have our next quizmaster, Mr. Vishwanath Sharma, who works at AI in the AI team. And in his own words, he works with computers and he builds fun software so that students can learn better, right? He mixes 2 of his loves, which is education and working with tech. His favorite animal is the octopus. One thing he loves about AI, that is LLMs, is that it has infinite patience and it doesn't get annoyed when you're asking it the same thing for the 10th time. And one thing he hates about it is that it is too polite and too agreeable. All right, so on that note, please welcome your quizmaster for today, Mr. Vishwanath Sharma. The floor is all yours.
All right, I hope everybody can hear me. Just give me a thumbs up if you can. All right. Well, first of all, thanks to everyone for being on time and congratulations for making it to round 2. Before we begin, we'll just have a round of introductions. So we'll go around. I'll just say your name. Please tell us what grade you are in, what school you're from, and we'll just go around. So I see Arnav Seth, the first one in front of me.
Yeah, hello everyone. I'm Arnav. I'm from Sri Kumaran's Children's Home and Bangalore. And yeah, I was participating in this quiz. I'm very excited to participate in this quiz. Thank
Arav.
Hello, everybody. My name's Arav. I'm studying in Greenwood High International School, Bangalore, in grade 9.
Vihan, you want to go next?
Yes, my name is Vihan and I am in grade 8 studying in AIM Next School, Powai.
Ishan?
Hello, my name's Ishan. I'm a ninth grader in Greenwood High International School, Bangalore, which seems to be the majority demographic here. Yeah, super excited.
Okay, so you have your friends here with you.
Yeah.
Okay, next is Vivan.
Hi, Shan. Hey, everybody. I'm Vivan. I am a ninth grader. And yes, I am in Greenwood High International School, Bangalore.
Okay. Okay, I think you guys see the same order as me, so just feel free to go next. Yeah. Siddharth is next.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Siddharth Mukhopadhyay, and I'm studying in Delhi Public School, Noida.
Okay, so my name is Pathajit Mori. I'm a ninth grader and I study in Delhi Private School.
Hello, my name is Surya Bharadwaj. I study in AM Naik School, Bombay, and I'm in ninth grade.
My name is Hannah. I'm in ninth grade in Greenwood High.
My name's Atrich Das and I'm also from Greenwood High, Bangalore.
Hello everyone, I'm Tasha and I study in ninth grade in Greenwood High.
Hello everyone, I'm Rishikesh and I study in Sri Kumaran's Children's Home, Bangalore.
Is that everyone? Okay. Okay, I am Vishwanath and I will be your quiz master for the next hour. So I think we can get started. I'll introduce you to the rules. I'll just quickly go over them. Meanwhile, I think, yeah, we can have it on screen. Okay, so the quiz has 5 rounds. As you can see, we have this grid. And you have different categories of questions that are there for every round, right? And so the quiz goes from left to right, top to bottom, right? Meaning we'll start with the first row, which is 6 questions, which will be for 100 points each. And please note that if you answer it correctly, you will get 100 points. But if you answer it incorrectly, you will be you will gain a penalty of 100 points. So don't be too trigger happy. Make sure you know the answer, right? And if you the first to hit the buzzer is the one who gets to answer, right? So I hope all of you have your buzzers, your phones or whatever you're using for the buzzer app in front of you and you're ready. And round 2 is 200 points, round 3 is 300, 400 and 500, right? We have a total of 5 rounds. For questions that you answer incorrectly, it will be passed to the next person who pressed the buzzer, and it will be passed for a total of 2 times, right? So total 3 people can attempt to answer the question, right? And if nobody is able to answer it, we'll reveal the answer and that the points for those get skipped. I will call the people by name, right? So even if you see your name on the top, if you're the first, don't. Guys, hear me? Give me a thumbs up here. You might have to. Okay, you guys can hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so even if you see your name as, the first one who pressed the buzzer, don't jump in with your answer. Wait for me to say your name and then say the answer. All right? Okay. So do we have any questions so far?
Yeah, I have a doubt. What's the time gap between showing the question and the buzzer being activated?
So there's a 10-second delay. So
10 seconds.
Yeah. So when the question comes on screen, while I'm reading the question out, uh, you know, there's a 10-second delay before the buzzer is active before you can press it. All right. So if everyone is ready with your buzzers, we'll start with question number 1 for 100 points. And this is the category identify the logo. You'll show a logo, you have to identify it. Okay? Okay, I see we have people who. Okay, the first one is Arav. So Arav, you want to unmute yourself and tell us the answer?
Yes, I believe the answer is perplexity.
That is the correct answer. Yeah. Good job. That's 100 points to Arav. Okay, we're warming up. That's round 1. Let's move to the next question. This will be the category identify the term. Now you will be shown an image and you have to decipher what the term associated with it is, right? Okay, we have buzzers. Can we sort them? Okay, the first one is Arnav. So you can unmute yourself.
Is it firewall?
Firewall is the correct answer. Yeah. Can you tell me what a firewall is? That's not part of the quiz though, but does anybody know what the responsibility of the firewall is?
I think it helps protect you from like viruses and stuff, I think.
Yeah, so it's a security system. It blocks unauthorized access to your computer or the network that you are working on. Good job. So 100 points to Arnav. Let's move to the next question. Everyone have your buzzers ready? For 100 points, identify the graph. This graph uses data spread across a grid to represent data. What type of a graph is this? What type of? Okay. We have, I think we have 8 people who've pressed the buzzer. Let's see who was the first. This time we have Siddharth. So,
Yeah. I think the answer is a dot plot.
okay. You're close.
Like dot plot or like strip plot, that type.
Okay. I will give you the points for that one because you're close enough. The answer is a scatter plot, and the scatter plot contains dots scattered across the graph. Yeah. And each dot represents one data point, right? So helping you identify relationships or patterns between different variables. So if you have a lot of dots scattered in one place, that means that there's, a lot of similarity between those data points. So that is 100 points to Siddharth. Let's move to the next. This is odd one out. I think everyone knows what that is. Buzzers at the ready. Identify the odd one out. The hint is that it has got something to do with output. Okay. The first to press the buzzer is Ishan. Ishan. No.
So that would be ChatGPT.
Okay.
The
And
ones are image generators and ChatGPT, but it used to be only a text generator until recently. Now it's multimodal. But
yeah, that is the correct answer and the right reasoning. So good job. 100 points to it was Siddharth, right?
Ishan, sir.
Yeah, no, did I read that wrong? My bad.
Okay.
Siddharth was the first buzzer on the last question, I guess, right? Okay, okay. Let's move to the next. This is origin stories. So identify the technology company. This social network started in a college dorm in 2004 for university students only. Its blue color was chosen because the founder is colorblind and blue is easiest to see. Okay, can we sort? Is this sorted by order? All right. So the first to press the buzzer is Siddharth.
It's Facebook because Mark Zuckerberg is colorblind and the movie was also released.
Yeah, that is true. That is the correct answer. Yeah. One fact about Facebook is that the original Facebook required you to have an email ID with .edu, which was only given to university students.
University students.
Yeah, so for about a year or two, it was the most exclusive, network, social network in the world. Okay, moving on to the last question of this round for 100 points. What is the connect? What is the common, uh, what is the common thing between all of these services companies? Okay, let's sort the answers. I think we have all the buzzers in. The first one is Arnav Seth.
They all help in like storage of material. Like
Sorry, can you repeat that?
they're like storage apps or application websites. Cloud storage.
Okay, yeah, that's the answer we're looking for. It's cloud storage, right? So these are all cloud storage software. Okay, so 100 points to Arnav. So we can, after the end of round one, look at the leaderboard to see how we all stand with the points. Meanwhile, I can give you a little trivia about cloud storage. The files, they're not stored in one place. They usually have 2 or 3 backups, and that's what makes it so durable, right? All right, at the top of the leaderboard, we have Siddharth with 200 points, Arnav Seth with 200, Arav with 100, and Ishan with 100. For everyone else, as we go through the rounds, you have an opportunity to win more points. So this is just a warm up. Make sure you play to your strengths. Let's move to round 2. These will be questions that give you 200 points, but also deduct 200 points. So be careful to, be smart. Make sure you know the answer. Can we move to the next round? Okay. Same categories as before. Identify the logo for 200 points. Your question is unscramble the logo to identify this image processing company. Okay, we have the buzzers. Arnav.
It's Canva.
Canva is the right answer. 200 points to Arnav. Moving on to the next question from the category identify the term for 200 points. Okay, a little slow with the buzzers this time. Arnav again.
Deepfake.
Deepfake is the right answer. Good job. So again, a bit of trivia on this. The term deepfake emerged from the name of a Reddit user who had his username called deepfake, who was sharing celebrities, face swaps, and deepfake videos. All right, we can move to the next question again for 200 points on data series. Arrange these data analysis steps in the order they are to be performed so you can make sense of the data. Analyze patterns and trends, define research question. Okay, you people read faster than me. All right, we have all the buzzers in. Let's go, Siddharth.
Yeah, certainly B, D, E, A, C.
Okay, so define research question, then collect data, then clean and organize raw data, analyze the patterns and trends, and then present the findings with
Yeah.
visualizations. That is the correct order. Good job. 200 points to Siddharth. Okay, for the next question, identify the odd one out. And the hint is cannot think or adapt. All right, the first with the buzzer is Arnav.
The automated factory arm,
Okay, and what is your reasoning behind that?
because it cannot think or adapt.
Yeah, that is the correct answer for 200 points. Let's move to the next question. Identify the technology company. This AI company created AlphaGo, which defeated the world champion at Go in 2016. Their mission is to solve intelligence. Okay, Arnav is quick with it. Again, for 200 points, what is your answer?
Google DeepMind.
Google DeepMind is the correct answer. AlphaGo learned the rules of chess from scratch, by the way, right? Unlike Stockfish, which was trained on a lot of human chess matches, AlphaGo was just given the rules of chess, and I think it trained for about 4 or 5 hours before it was able to beat, the best chess engines out there. So that's another little tidbit. On to the last question of round two, again for 200 points. What is the connect? Okay, we have a lot of Snapchat users in the house. The first is Siddharth. You can unmute yourself and give us the answer.
Yeah, that Snapchat like integrated OpenAI's technology to create their own chatbot and the filters that they use. Like they
Can you repeat that?
I'm saying that like Snapchat integrated OpenAI's software and their AI like ChatGPT to like they like integrated the chatbot into their platforms.
Correct. That is the correct answer. Yeah. So 200 points to Siddharth. That is the end of round two. We can again look at the leaderboard to see where we all stand. Get ready. The people who may not have answered yet, this is your opportunity to gain more points as each question is now for 300 points. But that also comes at the cost of giving you a penalty for 300 points. Okay, we can move on.
I think I just want to have I want to add a question.
Yep.
Is the website auto clicker banned? Just to like maintain fairness.
I am not sure, but I don't think I'm like the auto clicker is not allowed on the website. Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know.
We can move on to round three. Okay, for 300 points, the first question is unscramble the logo to identify the AI assistant. All right, Arnav with the fastest buzzer.
It's Gemini, right?
Gemini is the correct answer. Yeah. So 300 points to Arnav. Moving on to the next question, identify the term. Identify this technology term. All right, we have Arnav again with the buzzer. You want to unmute yourself?
It's web page.
Web page is the correct answer for 300 points. All right. This graph shows how spending changed across different industries in the week ending April 1st, 2020 compared to 2019. And the question is, which category saw the highest increase in spending? Okay, we have Arav with the buzzer this time. You can unmute yourself and give us the
Yes,
answer.
I believe it's online grocers.
Okay, and can you tell us how you reached to that answer?
Yeah, it's the most on the right side and it shows that on the right it's more spending. So that one has the highest increase.
Yeah, that is the correct answer for 300 points to Arav, online grocers. Okay, everyone, fast with the buzzers. The next question is identify the odd one out. Hint is that origin. Okay, the first is Rishikesh.
Yeah, Perplexity didn't originate in India.
That is the correct answer. Other than Perplexity, all the remaining companies are registered Indian companies. Good job. Others, you can also be quick with it for more points so you can catch up. Origin stories, 300 points. The next question is identify the technology company. This company's chips power most AI training systems and gaming computers. Their name sounds like a Latin word meaning jealousy. They created the RTX and GeForce product lines. We have Ishan this time. Please go ahead and unmute yourself and give us the
NVIDIA.
NVIDIA is the correct answer. Yeah. How many gamers here? Oh, okay. We have the next question. Okay, let's. Okay, Siddharth.
It's a cookie.
Cookie is the right answer. Yeah. A fun fact on cookies, the name originates from the term magic cookies, which is a term that predates the web, which was small packets of data that were shared in operating systems in Unix. And so programmers would exchange these data packets. All right, I think we are at the end of round 3. Let's look at the leaderboard once more. We got some new people answering this time for more points. So let's see what the leaderboard looks like now. All right, we have Arnav with 1600 points leading the pack. Then we have Siddharth with 900, Arav with 400, Ishan with 400, and Rishikesh with 300 points. The others do not get discouraged. The next round is for 400 points each question, and you have 6 of them. So you have a lot of opportunity to catch up. Let's move on to round number 4 for 400 points. Your first question is unscramble the logo to identify this AI company. Okay, we have Arnav with the first buzzer.
It's called Hugging Face.
Hugging Face is the correct answer for 400 points to Arnav. Let's move to the next question. Identify this technology term. Okay, Arnav again.
It's the QR code.
QR code is the correct answer. 400 points to Arnav. Good job. It's a QR code is a 2D barcode, right? It can pack much more data like website links, contact info, or even Wi-Fi passwords, which nobody would want to do that, but you can do that if you want to. All right, we can move to the next question. This is a data series question for 400 points. Why is it misleading to use this graph to claim that temperatures are rising out of control? We have the buzzers. The first one is Arav. Please go ahead with your answer.
It's misleading because it looks at the average monthly temperatures, which are rising, but they're expected to rise since in the July it's summer and it's obviously hotter. It would be more useful to look at the average annual temperature or something like that to look at the temperature rising.
So it's that is not the correct answer. We'll move to the next person, who is Siddharth.
Yeah. Because it is only like showing a seasonal change and not like an entire like annual change. Because it is not actually like predicting like with other comparing with other graphs, or just because it is just like only a seasonal from January to July and not from January to December.
That is the correct answer. That when you are comparing annual temperatures, you must look at the entire year, and a better approach is to compare the average temperature of the same month across several years, and that would give you the trend line for whether the average temperature is rising or not. Okay, so that is 400 points to Siddharth and a 400 point penalty to Arav, if I am not mistaken. Yeah. All right, moving on to the next question for 400 points. Identify the odd one out. The hint is a type of AI. Okay. The first with the buzzer is Ishan. Please go ahead and unmute yourself.
Give me a sec, so I'm just confirming this. Sir, is it the recommender system because everything else is generative?
Are you
And
asking me, or is that your
no,
answer?
that's my answer. Might be wrong, but I believe that it should be the recommender because everything else is generative, and recommender is a classifier.
Yeah, so yeah, you should trust your instinct. That is the right answer for 400 points to Ishan. And the reasoning as well. Everything else is generative AI, while a recommender system only selects from existing content, right? It's a filter. Moving on to the next question, again for 400 points. Identify the technology company. The company's supercomputer beat Jeopardy, the quiz show, champions in 2011. Named after its founder, it provides AI services worldwide. Okay, can we sort? It's Arav this time.
Sir, I believe it's Watson.
Okay, but the question asks for the company, right? So I will mark that as an incorrect answer.
Sir, it's IBM.
Okay, do we allow that?
I mean, sir, it's the chatbot of the companies. I mean, the bot of the company.
Okay, all right. We shall grant that as the right answer. Okay, that is 400 points to Arav, and that is the end of round 4. Oh, we have one more question. My bad. Okay, we have 400 more points on the table. What is the connect? Okay, Ishan with the fastest buzzer this time. Go ahead.
The Coca-Cola recently released an AI commercial, and while it did receive a lot of negative feedback because of how obviously agile it was, it marks a shift, you know. It was quite a milestone. I think it was a Christmas commercial. It's quite recent. Yeah.
That is the correct answer. Yeah. So that is the end of round four. 400 points to Ishan for that last answer. Let's look at the leaderboard. The last round, which is the fifth round, is 500 points a question. So, in theory, uh, you guys can still, catch up and gain a lot of points in this final round. So, be ready with the buzzers and be sharp with your minds. We'll move on to the final round of this game. All right. The first question for 500 points is identify the AI assistant from this incomplete logo. Okay. I see Siddharth is the fastest with the buzzer.
Yeah, the answer is Grok.
Grok is the correct answer. It was trained using the data from Twitter, which is now,
Twitter.
yeah, it's making it one of the few AI models that incorporates real-time sort of social media into its knowledge base, right? That's the first of its kind. All right, 500 points to Siddharth. Let's move on to the next question. Identify this technology term. Okay, I see Adrij is in with the answer, but we'll wait for a few more answers to come in, or a few more buzzers to come in, rather. We will wait for one more person. Okay, I think we have three responses, so we'll go ahead with asking for the answers. Adrij, do you want to unmute yourself?
It's a large language model or LLM.
That is the correct answer. Yeah. That's a large sized popcorn language and different models. Okay, for the next question for 500 points again on data series. Let's go. This graph shows the number of people in millions who migrated from one continent to another in the year 2017. The question is, which continent had the most migrants in 2017? All right, Ishan.
Sorry, the most migrants overall in Asia, but I think the answer should be Latin America, South America, not sure why it's called that, because the question mentions from a continent to another.
Okay, that is the wrong answer. So you get a penalty of 500 points. The next on the list is Vihan. Vihan, do you want to go ahead and tell us your answer?
Sir, is it Europe? No, not. Is it Europe?
Europe is the wrong answer. We have the third person is Vivan.
Isn't the like question passed only 2 times?
So this is the second time that
Yeah, it's me. I think it's North America.
Okay, and can you tell us the reason for that?
From Latin America, I can see 2.64 shifting from North America, even coming from Asia as well. So 7.6 also going from Europe. That is, all these numbers are all directing towards North America. It's not with very fewer numbers from other countries.
North America is the right answer. Good job. 500 points to Vivan. And if you look at the graph, the width of the arrows represents the volume of migrants. Right? The arrow shows which continent the migration is coming from, and North America is receiving the maximum number of migrants from other continents. So, good job. 500 points to Vivan. Let's move to the fourth question of this round for 500 points again. Be ready with your buzzers. Identify the false statement regarding AI achievements. All right, we have Ahana with the fastest buzzer.
Won an Oscar award?
That is the right answer. Yeah. AIs have not won an Oscar award yet. All right, for the second last question of the entire quiz for 500 points. Identify the technology company. This video game company created Minecraft. Microsoft acquired them for $2.5 billion in 2014, recognizing gaming's educational potential. All right. Ishan, with the fastest buzzer.
Mojang, sir.
I I can see on your face you play Minecraft.
Oh, yes, sir. I
Very
play
good. Mojang is the right answer. It's a Swedish game studio developed, it developed the game Minecraft. Um, all right. For the finale, the final question of this quiz for 500 points. I hope you are all ready. What is the connect? All right. Ishan.
Well, Meta recently exhibited its and open to sale its pair of smart glasses, which will create quite a sensation because they're actually pretty high quality products. Yeah.
And do you know what company they partnered with?
Ray-Ban.
Yeah, that is the correct answer for 500 points. And to conclude the quiz and look at the final leaderboard to see who our winners are. Your drum roll. Congratulations to Arnav, the leader of today's quiz with 2,400 points. And Siddharth in second place with 1,800 points. Can we get virtual claps? We can't hear each other, but good job to all of you. And in third place, we have Ishan Soni. All right, well done, well done. I see Arnav played smart in the last round, keeping his fingers off the trigger after the lead that he gained. Well played, everyone. Good job, and you know, good. Congratulations to all of you. Yeah, I will hand it over to Ashwini.
Thanks, Vishnath. All right, awesome. Congrats, everybody. So before we sort of wind up, I very quickly wanted to hear from all of you. What would it take to learn AI skills? What does it mean to have AI skills? How would you rather be taught AI skills? Just one line. You can either use the Zoom raise hand feature or raise your physical hand. If you had to complete the sentence, I wish I were taught AI this way, dash, what would that be? Yeah, Ishan, you want to share?
Yeah, well, I wish I was taught AI, practically by doing, because I've always been interested in the theory aspect.
I'm so sorry. Could you please come closer to the mic? Because we're live streaming this.
Fair. I wish I learned AI practically because I've always been interested in the theory part, but nowadays, the technical part is much less important, and the world's gonna go to who can actually use these tools better.
Okay. Arnav?
I wish it would start in schools because like this is like one of the most important things every person in school should be learning right now because it's literally our future. I feel it's our future as humanity is moving forward that AI is our future and it's not it being taught in school and that's really just a shame. So I really hope that moving forward it's probably like taught as a subject in schools because right now it's really not that hard to learn. It's and I feel everyone should learn how to use or at least know what AI is and how it works because it's really just a very important thing to know. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Very interesting. Thank you. Rishikesh?
Yeah, building on Arnav's statement, I completely agree. It should be taught to everybody in school and also to the senior citizens and underprivileged sections of our society because they don't usually have access to current information worldwide and not even schools sometimes. And more than just in schools, it should be a more broad-based educational initiative to take up AI as a part of your curriculum.
I have another question. When we used to learn programming, of course, the language that we were using differed. It must have been different 40 years ago, 30 years ago, 20 years ago, what we're using now, and also how we're coding now. So technology is evolving and it's evolving faster, which is very much the case with AI. So what do you do when technology is evolving faster than it could be taught or than your curriculum can change? That's a big, like a larger level, like a school level question. Like, let me ask, would it not be a good idea to sort of even form communities and help each other and not wait for a lot of these larger changes to happen at their pace? Because we understand they might be difficult to do at a country level, at a state level, at a city level. Yeah or no?
Yeah, I think that would be a great idea. Like, and honestly, it's already started forming, and like initiatives like this AI quiz and all, help educate a lot of people. Because the like I saw in the start, it was like around 700 or 750 people that participated in that quiz, and that's 750 most children learning about AI, and that's really just very helpful. And before like this, like any form of state, like that'll take a lot of time, like some state reform or some national reform helping like teach the AI. But like we could start like self-help communities right now on AI and stuff like that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Do you have initiatives like that in your school? Any of you?
No, sadly, no.
Okay. So how about we start one? So did you see anything about AI ambassadors on the AI quiz webpage?
Yeah, there weren't a lot of details, but it did say something.
Okay. So the idea was for you all, just like you've taken the initiative to participate in a quiz like this, and also the initiative in your personal lives to learn more about AI literacy and in general problem solving with it. So it would be a great idea to form that community and take back activities for your classroom or take back discussions that you can probably have in your school communities, in your class groups, etc. And that is the idea that this was all started with, so that we continue this journey even after this. Of course, congrats to our winners. I mean, given the number of kids that participated, man, you're all winners. But yeah, 3 cheers to the toppers of today. On that note,
All right. So we will keep posting further information on the group, on our email trails, on WhatsApp, and also on the quiz. So keep checking the quiz webpage for updates. And yeah, let's stay connected. Congrats again to everybody. You'll get your prizes super soon. And yeah, let's keep talking. I request all our participants to move backstage now, please.